What's up, everybody? It's kind of a bittersweet day. It's always a good day to get a new season of Warzone and Vanguard if you play it, but it's bittersweet because this is the end of Warzone. This is the last season we'll have. It'll run right up against the release of Modern Warfare 2, and then less than a month after Modern Warfare 2 comes out on November 19th, we're supposed to get Warzone 2 from the leaks. So it's kind of bittersweet. It's the last season of Warzone. Obviously, there'll be some other changes in the mid-season update, but this is one of the last major updates we'll get. And we'll get small ones, but Warzone's almost over. It's sad, but I'm also ready to move on. Anyways, that's kind of my emotional rant. Before we get started, I will be streaming tonight, probably the next day or so, all on Warzone. I'll definitely have new weapon videos coming out, so keep an eye out for all that. But let's go ahead and jump into it. Alright, so we have our normal schedule of game modes for the season like they've been putting out. Nothing stands out too much on the normal days. We have Operation Last Call, which we knew was coming. The big things that really stick out are there's a weekly rotation, and the Resurgence quads, the Iron Trial squads, the Resurgence for Caldera, and then the Resurgence quads and the Iron Trial quads on Rebirth Island will be rotating in and out throughout these weeks on Mondays through Thursdays at random. So that's kind of a departure from their normal, but it'll be nice to have Iron Trials on either map pop up. That I'm definitely excited for. And then the other thing that stands out is Resurgence After Dark comes September 2nd. Battle Pass stuff, I'm going to go ahead and skip, but like usual, this will be linked down below if you want to check it out for yourself. I put out a video on new season information coming up, so I'll link that down below if you want to know more about the Heroes vs. Villains Last Stand community event, and Operation Last Call. The details that we did not get in Operation Last Call from the other stuff is full map mode, players start with their loadout, Resurgence respawn system, we knew that, but players cannot get wiped. Interesting. It's raining giant lava rocks. Players should keep an eye out for the volcano meter or for a read on volcanic activity, also represented by an increasingly smoky atmosphere. Fortune's Keep, the big changes they're making is they upped the player count. Solos is up to 50 from 45, duos 50 from 46, trios 51 from 45, and quads 52 from 40. And they will increase that for private matches later this season. Caldera map updates. We went over the Caldera changes that they included in the last video I put out, so I'll link that down below to go a little more in detail. Remember, I had to guess where this Task Force Tyrants HQ location was, and I guessed it was somewhere in this building. Looks like I was correct. And I want to say this is the side I figured out before, but I think this is the side that faces down into fields and stuff. It actually might face down into mines. There's the bridge. Yeah, it faces sort of down into fields. There's that water tower. There's the bridge. So it faces sort of down into fields. It's on that side of the mountain. No self-respecting villain would operate without an evil layer. As such, Task Force Tyrants has claimed peak and given it somewhat of a hazardous makeover. An interior creek with flowing lava, basalt columns, and stepping stones. A giant, colorful, ornate crest for their secret organization, and a beautiful vista looking out over a worn-torn caldera. Boiler rooms, a new gulag inspired by the old showers gulag. Sunrays through smoke, new weather and lighting. The storm is cleared on Caldera. The sunlight is peeking through volcanoes, billowing smoke. Sunset, new weather and lighting. Rebirth Island sees new lighting changes, as well as featuring a warm and lush sunset casting a vibrant hue over the map. This picture worries me. It looks like there's going to be a lot of dark spots and kind of hard to see, so be ready for your rose skins and any other dark skins. And then Rebirth After Dark, new weather and lighting. Rebirth Island will receive a special limited time mode, Rebirth After Dark, on Friday, September 2nd through Sunday, September 4th, so it's only that weekend, that allows players to experience this fan-favorite experience after the sun has set. Bug fixes, fix collision issues across Caldera and Fortune's Keep. Fix an issue that prevented players from equipping armor plates after interacting with the buy station. Fix an issue with player unable to buy teammate with the hardline perk. Fix an issue that caused prestige levels to display incorrectly in the barracks. Fix an issue that caused some emblems and calling cards to be unequipped automatically. Fix an issue that caused out of bounds warning to get stuck on screen in pre-match lobby. And then you can always check out their Trello for known issues. Gameplay, the Doomsday Station. I think we went over that enough in my last video. Here's the supply box UAV, which we touched on, but a little more information here. This new kill streak can be activated to mark nearby unopened supply box on the attack map for 20 seconds. This kill streak can be looted via supply boxes or purchased at a buy station for $3,000. Activating more than 3 supply box UAVs in a short amount of time will activate an advanced supply box UAV, resulting in a much stronger effect. Supply box, blue is standard, orange is legendary, red's resurgence, and pink is your personal supply box. Personal supply box will spawn a player's favorite loadout weapons and reward the player with 2,000 XP. Can set favorite via the weapons at a loadout menus. Rage serum. So we were told it was going to change melee and movement speed, but here it is. Movement speed increased by 8%. We didn't have numbers before is what I meant by here it is. And we didn't know it was for 40 seconds. Damage with melee weapons or while unarmed increased by 50%. Lunge damage increased to 3.2 meters, up from 1.4. Melee stun power increased by 50%. I'm sure we're going to see some clips, especially from someone like Joe Woe, who will benefit off the movement speed, be able to close distance, and just beat up somebody. Negative players will have a louder presence, like they mean footsteps. Visible rage effects on the operator, so I'm sure you'll glow or steam or something. Stun and flash vulnerability increased by 40%. This effect can be countered by the Battle Hardened perk. They're trying to make you run Battle Hardened. Quality of life, precision. They're increasing they're making the danger UI more consistent when it's nearby. They fixed precision strike, sometimes not hitting near the targeted site, instead hitting the player from behind unexpectedly. This would occur in rare situations when the player is positioned considerably higher above the target when launching the strike. And added danger UI notification if the player calling in a cluster strike or precision is too close to the targeted site. And they said it's going to continue to shoot through glass balconies and wallbang penetrable buildings. I'm okay with glass and balconies. I'm not okay with the wallbang penetrable buildings. That used to be Safe Harbor when Warzone started, and I don't think they ever announced the change, and it just changed. C4 will now sit horizontally, so it doesn't look too much like perks. They are actually implementing the gas mask auto and manual equip settings, so now you can set it to manual equip and not have it interrupt you if you don't want it to. But remember to turn it on, obviously. Buy station, supply box UAV, kill streaks added to the buy station, and it will now scroll in order to display all available options. I wish they would just make the UI a little bit bigger to fit one more selection, or not add another selection. Be fine with that too. Loadout crate UI selection, so now it's going to go back to your last selected memory loadout. It's going to remember that instead of always being at the top. Plane respawn functionality, they're no longer going to respawn except for in respawn modes like Plunder. Serpentine, fire damage no longer decreased, explosive damage no longer decreased, and later in the season, you'll be required to be tack sprinting instead of just moving. So that's also good. So really, it's only going to really be good for a second or two unless you start slide canceling like a maniac, and then still you're not going to have consistent serpentine use. Stun and flash resistance with Battle Hardened is increased to 80%, up from 50 and 70. Like I said, they're trying to get you to use Battle Hardened, which, sure, it counters like the 3 most useful tacticals in snapshots, stuns, and flashes. General, Season 5 is all about widening options. So Vanguard marksman rifles now have assault rifle ammo. Variable scopes 3 to 6 and 4 to 8 have less recoil control, slower ADS, and now they have glint. Aggressive and heavy snipers will see a large reduction. That's unclear, but it kind of is more clear when we scroll down. And the EX1, the new laser weapon, is getting balancing. They've made substantial differences to the EX1 to better accommodate BR gameplay versus Vanguard multiplayer gameplay. You may have seen some private match clips already come out, and I think that's kind of what they're referring to. Now it has limited ammo, increased recoil, and substantially lower bullet velocity when you're in Warzone. And then obviously it's going to be what it is in Vanguard. And you get that tier 15. You get the new submachine gun tier 31 in the battle pass for free. The AS-44 is catching a nerf where the max damage, so your up close damage, is down to 22 from 24. And then the 615 barrel is actually getting a buff to increase the damage range to up 30% from 20%, and vertical recoil control increased to 15% up from 12%. And the 12B custom barrel initial firing recoil increased to 14% up from 10%. I think they meant to put control in there. Movement speed penalty decreased to 3% up from 4%. And they're just essentially trying to make it not a submachine gun as much. Let the subs be subs. Assault rifle Charlie from Vanguard, which is the BAR. The 8mm 40 round mag was buffed up to 50 from 40. The Cooper carbine compressed rounds recoil penalty increased, and the 22-inch Cooper custom horizontal recoil control decreased. The KGM-40 is catching another kind of big nerf. The minimum damage, so your long-range damage, is decreased to 23 from 25. Sprint to fire is increased to 1.02 up from 1.0. The Reisdorf 720mm shrouded barrel, the barrel that everyone uses for long range, its muzzle velocity was decreased to 38 from 45. Vertical recoil control decreased to 24, down from 30, and horizontal recoil control decreased to 17, down from 20. I think it's still going to be a very viable gun. It still might be the meta. The EX1's probably going to be meta. And then the 6.5mm Sakura 40-round mag, which I don't think anyone was using. The velocity penalty was increased. The recoil control was decreased, and the horizontal recoil control decreased. I still think people are going to be using the 8mm 60 because it didn't get any kind of recoil difference or fire rate difference or damage difference. People will still use the 860 on the KG. Move speed scaler decreased to 0.98, down from 0.985. That's almost nothing. ADS time penalty increased to negative 5%, up from negative 2.5%. And the BDD 22G padded, which is everyone's stock. The recoil control was decreased to 12.5, down from 14%. But when you're making these nerfs to recoil on something that has like 0 recoil, it's still probably not going to have a whole lot of recoil. We've seen that with a bunch of different weapons. The KGM-40 continued to climb after its last round of adjustments. We're making further reduction to its long-range damage profile, blah, blah, blah. Grau also getting a buff. Its max damage, so your up-close damage, was increased to 29, up from 28. Its max damage range was increased to 1240, up from 1200. I think that's inches. Neck damage multiplier is increased to 1.15, up from 1.01. So a little nerf for the Grau. If you were using the Grau, it would be great, but it probably won't make you use the Grau. Groza minimum damage increased to 24 from 23. No one's using the Groza. Black Ops Cold War Vargo had the ADS transition in and out time reduced down to 280 milliseconds from 300 milliseconds, and the Spetsnaz 60 round ADS time penalty decreased to 10%, down from 15%. So now the Vargo 52 is gonna ADS faster, and everything else will be the same. It's definitely gonna still be in the meta. It could become the meta. Vargo S from Vanguard, the minimum damage was increased to 22, up from 20, so it's your long-range damage, and your neck damage multiplier was increased to 1.5, up from 1.3. That's significant. The 414 custom barrel damage range penalty removed, sprint to fire penalty decreased. I'm just going to breeze over this one because people aren't going to use this gun, unless this makes it broken, which it's not going to. 336mm barrel recoil control penalty decreased, sprint to fire penalty removed. The LW 298mm barrel vertical recoil control penalty decreased. The 414 was the one to use, and it'll probably still be the one to use if you want to use this gun. The 6.5mm Sakura 45 round drums increased to 50. The 8mm 30 round mag increased to 40. The 30-06 38 round mag rate of fire was increased by 50%. That's significant. The custom SK2 stock movement speed penalty decreased to negative 2%, up from negative 4.4%. Essentially, they just are trying to round out the gun to make it better, essentially. Make people use it. Assault Rifle Alpha from Vanguard, which is the STG. The 760mm barrel is getting a horizontal recoil penalty. The recoil control is decreased to 20%, down from 30%. Muzzle velocity decreased to 40%, down from 45%. And the 8mm 60 round drums, which nobody's really using, the ADS time scaler penalty decreased to negative 10%, up from 7%. So that got a little bit of a buff there and nerf to the main barrel. Light machine guns. The UGM-8 sustained recoil slightly adjusted, whatever that means. The Type 11, another gun people are not going to use. The 487mm shrouded barrel, the rate of fire penalty was decreased, and the horizontal recoil control was increased. And the 5.6mm 45 round mags muzzle velocity penalty removed. No one's going to use it. Marksman rifles. Vanguard marksman rifles are using assault rifle ammo because sniper ammunition was holding them back. And their flinch decreased on marksman rifle by 33%. That's significant. The SVT-40, it'll be interesting to see if these are worth using. The G43 is probably the only one really worth using. The SVT-40 time to ADS decreased to 400 milliseconds, down from 450. The 730mm precision barrel ADS penalty increased to 8%, down from 7%. The 303 British 15 round mag, the damage penalty was increased, the ADS time decreased, the recoil control is now 5%, down from 32%. That is a huge decrease. But I guess you can't even spam with the SVT-40, so I don't know. And the 6.5 Sakura 20 round mag damage penalty increased. Rate of fire bonus decreased to 30% down 50%. ADS time decreased. And recoil control now 10%. The M1 Garand muzzle velocity increased by 13.4%. 303 British 12 round mag. Magazine capacity increased to 16 rounds. Recoil control decreased to 5 down from 25. Once again, this is kind of single tap fire, whatever you want to call it. So the recoil control is not that big a deal, but on the M1 Garand you can fire pretty fast, so it kind of matters. The 6.5 20 round mag, 20 round drums increased to 40 now. The rate of fire bonus decreased to 25 down from 43. Movement speed decreased to -4 down from 2. Recoil control decreased down to 20%, down from 31%. The 30-06 16 round mag is increased to 30. The 30-20 round drum is increased to 40, and the movement penalty increased to -4%. M1 Garand could be worth using. The G43 is getting a big damage buff. Max damage increased to 35 up from 34, but minimum damage to your long range damage increased to 31 up from 28. A fairly significant buff for the minimum damage. The precision barrel ADS penalty decreased to -2 up from -6. The 500mm rapid barrel recoil recovery now increased by 10%. The full auto barrel, which is the one you're going to want to use, the recoil increased to 20% up from 2%. So I'm assuming that means control because they're saying up from. Horizontal recoil penalty decreased to 10% up from 40%. So that's good. That's the barrel if you want to try this, especially because this 20 round mag increased to 40 and the ADS penalty decreased to -2 down from 4. But now you have 40 round AR essentially in the G43. That's going to be an interesting one. I definitely have to try. The M1916 ADS time decreased to 310 milliseconds down from 340. The custom barrel is now recoil recovery now increased by 10%. The 20 round mag now has a rate of fire bonus decreased to 5% down from 20. No one's going to use the M1916. The Mono Warfare crossbow, lower damage multiplier decreased to 1.5 from 1.8. Same with upper and lower extremities. Not a huge nerf. People will still use it for fun, but less people will probably use it, especially if they just see that it got nerfed. Combat shield move speed scaler decreased. The scythe damage increased. Attack speed increased. Attack interrupt time decreased. Dual Kodachis, standing and crouching melee range decreased. Pro melee range decreased. Standing and crouch melee lunge increased. Handguns, the Clouser from Vanguard, the Wyvern 170, the damage range was increased. I'm just going to breeze over this because no one's going to use it. Horizontal recoil control penalty and vertical recoil control penalty decreased, and movement speed penalty decreased. 200mm barrel muzzle velocity increased. ADS time penalty decreased. Movement speed penalty decreased. ADS movement speed penalty decreased. And the 45 ACP 12 round mags, the magazine capacity increased to 16. Rate of fire penalty decreased from -4 down from -10. Sniper rifles. Flinch decreased on heavy sniper rifles by 11%. Flinch decreased on light sniper rifles by 40%. I love this. I've been sniping again on Rebirth and stuff with the light sniper rifles. Love this, and this might make me use heavy snipers. The Tundra, which people aren't really going to use, so I'll just breeze over this one. Its damage range was increased to 69 up from 61. So it's one-shot headshot, fully maxed out. It'll probably be somewhere around 80, high 70s, somewhere around there. Just off the top of my head. Upper torso damage multiplier increased. Lower torso damage multiplier increased. Extremity damage multiplier increased. And ADS transition in time decreased. So you might see people using the Tundra, like on Rebirth and stuff, but people just love the car too much. You don't even see the Swiss, you just see the car if people are sniping with a light sniper these days. Type 99 from Vanguard, another gun people aren't really going to use. The 712mm sniper, the neck damage multiplier increased to 1.62 up from 1. That's huge. Upper torso damage multiplier decreased to 1.1 down from 1.81. Sprint fire penalty decreased to -15. 3-line rifle, the 20 round mag damage bonus decreased to 7% down from 10, and the rate of fire penalty decreased to -6.5 up from -10%. That's just a balance. People really like the 3-line right now, and people that like the 3-line are going to keep liking the 3-line. Combat shotgun, headshot, location damage multiplier decreased, and neck locational damage multiplier decreased. 12 gauge 5 round tube, locational damage multipliers decreased. Sawed off damage range penalty increased, and bonus damage decreased. I don't think people are using the combat shotgun too much. I saw a couple people using it in the second half of Season 4, but not too much. Submachine guns, the Armawera, their movement speed scale decreased. The Amaretto 550 barrel, the barrel I just started using, the vertical recoil control decreased to 10 down from 15, and horizontal recoil control decreased to 15 down from 20. The short barrel vertical recoil control penalty increased. That barrel gives you the fastest time to kill and is already kind of unwieldy at times. Now it's really going to be unwieldy. The 570 precision barrel, which I know is what a lot of people use, the headshot damage multiplier decreased to 1.14 down from 1.2. The 550 and the precision and the 570 are really the barrels to use, by the way, especially now that the 180 is getting another buff. I mean, another short. Actually, that's not the fastest because it's the best movement speed, but now that's getting another nerf. I just can't see using them over these like no recoil barrels. Back to the precision barrel. Muzzle velocity decreased to 30% down from 40%. Horizontal recoil control decreased to 25 down from 35. The 8mm 72 round mag, which I don't think people were really using. The muzzle velocity is decreased to 10%. The damage range bonus removed. The 9mm 60 round mags, which is the mag people were using. Sorry. The movement speed penalty increased and the ADS time penalty increased. People are still going to use the 9mm 60. I know I will. And I don't think this gun's going to fall out of the meta. None of the damage got touched. It's only movement and recoil. So the Armawera is probably still going to be the meta. Like it took over. It's going to be the Blixen and the Marco. The Amaretto TA skeletal stock, which is the one that I use, the initial recoil control decreased to 10% down from 15%. And the sustained recoil penalty increased to -10 down from -7.5. I'll probably still use it. I still really like it. It gives you the nice movement speed increase, but I could see changing it. I'll have to play with it later. Marco 5, max damage decreased to 32 down from 34, so that's just your up-close damage. Mid damage increased, so that's after the first but before the second damage drop-off, decreased to 29% down from 30%, and mid damage range increased to 20 meters up from 15 meters. That's significant, so it's going to definitely play more of a sniper support role than an in-your-face role. The 342mm barrel, the muzzle velocity decreased to 40% down from 50. Recoil control decreased to 5% down from 8%. Perfetto Lesto 355mm barrel, which is the barrel that I use and recommend. The vertical recoil control penalty increased. Wait, the Perfetto, maybe that's not. It's not. No, the Perfetto stock is the one I use. And the horizontal recoil control decreased to -15% down from -12. I don't think people are using the 355mm barrel too much. The Blixen, that was a really long patch notes. Bergstrom 17-inch, recoil control decreased to 30% down from 45%. 7.62, 54 round mags, headshot multiplier removed. Upper torso damage multiplier increased to 1.13, up from 1.0. Movement speed scale decreased to 0.97, down from 1.02. ADS time scalar penalty decreased to -4%, up from -3%. So, I mean, the Blixen got a nerf, but I still think it'll be the gun to use. And, like, you still get that headshot multiplier removed, but they increase the upper torso damage, which is where most people are hitting their best shots. The UGR, the magazine, increased to 45, up from 40, and the explosive flechettes magazine capacity was increased to 50, up from 36. That's the UGR's biggest problem. Definitely going to keep going on about the UGR. I love that gun. The Fennec neck damage multiplier increased to 1.4, up from 1.01. Leg and foot damage multiplier increased to 1.0, up from 0.9. Doesn't have enough ammo. That's why it hasn't been in the meta for a long time. The M1928, so the Tommy gun. The Chariot 2.5-inch rate of fire decreased to 10%, down from 15%. The vertical recoil control penalty decreased to 35, up from -50. The Chariot 5.5-inch minimum damage increased to 22, up from 21. The 8mm Kurz 50-round drums damage range decreased to 15%, down from 20%. Vertical recoil control penalty decreased to -25, up from -30. 8mm 100-round drums damage range decreased to 15, down from 20%. Vertical recoil control penalty decreased to -25 from -30. People still really aren't going to use the Tommy gun. It didn't get a damage buff. It didn't, other than the Chariot 55 of 5.5-inch barrel. It didn't get a damage buff. It didn't get a recoil buff without just specific attachments. I don't think you'll see people using that still. The PPSH for Vanguard, the ZAC 300mm. The hipfire accuracy penalty decreased to -15%. The damage range increased to 25, up from 20%. The 8mm Nambu 71 round mags, damage penalty removed. Damage range penalty increased to -25, down from -20. Stack folding, recoil recovery increased by 10%. None of these were attachments people are using on the PPSH. If you're using the PPSH, you're probably using the hipfire build that I always recommend. Submachine gun Bravo from Modern Warfare. Off the top of my head, I don't remember what that is. Sorry, I just went and looked that up. That is the P90. So the mid damage increased to 22 up from 20. The mid damage range increased to 17.8 meters up from 19.1. The min damage increased to 19 up from 18. Might be worth checking out. I know a lot of people are running the P90, so it might be worth checking out. Striker 45, neck damage multiplier increased to 1.15 up from 1.0. Upper torso damage multiplier increased to 1.12 up from 1.01. Maybe it's worth checking out, but I doubt it. The Striker's just always been like a weaker MP5. Attachments, the MX silencer. I think we're done after attachments. Recoil control decreased to 3% down from 4%. Muzzle velocity decreased to 10% down from 12%. Damage range decreased to 7.5% down from 10%. The M19, so it's just a small nerf to the MX silencer. The M19 28 silencer, which is like the MX silencer submachine guns, which people don't use because they use a recoil booster unless they're doing sniper support. Recoil control decreased to 3% down from 4%. Muzzle velocity decreased to 10% down from 12%. Damage range decreased to 7.5% down from 10%. Mercury silencer, horizontal recoil control decreased to 4% down from 5%. Scopes, the 3-6 and the 4-8 both have sniper glint now. Recoil control was decreased on the 3-6 to 1% down from 5%. Flinch resistance decreased, and assault rifles, the ADS penalty increased to -10 up from -4. Still going to be the optic to use unless you like the 2.5x. The 2.5x might take over. Maybe the 3.5 times rifled. We'll see. 1913 variable 4-8. Sniper, like I said, sniper guns enabled. Recoil control decreased to 5% down from 10%. Flinch resistance decreased. Assault penalty. Assault rifle ADS penalty increased to -12 up from -8. Gun perks tight grip. Sustained recoil control decreased to 9% down from 10%. The operators, as usual, if you want to read up on all that, I will have that link down below. And then you have download sizes. So that's it. It's a really long patch notes. It's going to end up being an almost 30-minute video. So if you watched it all, thank you so much. If you skipped around, thank you so much. I do appreciate watching it all. Let's make this last season a good one. I will be streaming, like I said. So I'll also have this link down below, as well as my Twitch stream. I have my Instagram and TikTok, which is posted on almost daily. Link down below, and my Twitter if you're interested. And this will be linked down below. But like I said, thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Tomorrow and Friday, or Friday and Saturday, I will definitely have new EX1 and I forget what the SMG's called videos coming out. And let me know down below what you think of these patch notes. I think the weapon changes are just whatever. I don't really have feelings towards them. But if you do, let me know down below, or any of the other changes. But I will see you on Caldera, Rebirth Island, and Fortune's Keep while we still play Warzone. Get frying. Have a good day.